Hey everybody! Don't tell anyone, but I think I'm lost. I just wanted to test out the routes people would take when starting out their Ultraman journey, so I got myself a Toku map. It didn't help at all. I don't know where I am.
Starting out Ultraman. Not to be confused with starting out as Ultraman, the first episode of Ultraman Rube. Ultraman has been around since 1966 and is an instantly recognizable icon of fiction and Japanese media. This year marks the 55th anniversary in fact. With such a long-running franchise, it's pretty sure to have a lot of lore and legacy. People love the series for many reasons. The monsters, the Ultraman themselves, or the mechas and fighter jets. Or you may like the storytelling, the lore, the themes present in the show. The Ultraman series can seem interesting to an outsider, seeing the long list of heroes and its many different gimmicks. Or they may just think it's a kids show starring Rubberman in Suits 1 and 2. The Ultraman series on Netflix, I believe, caused the biggest recent increase in interest in the series. Netflix is a popular streaming service with a huge user base, so of course a Netflix exclusive show would catch most of the users' attention. Even more recently, the collaboration with Marvel Comics had also given the series even more exposure. Both of these are rather disconnected to the mainline series to put it simply, but given how huge the series is, of course some people would be interested to know more. However, the sheer size of the franchise also makes it intimidating for newcomers to get into it, especially since the recent entries like to connect more plot points between installments, so confusion may happen. If you go by the book and try to watch every single main entry in order, it will take you years. You could hold an anniversary for your own journey with the series before you're even caught up. However, as you're an Ultraman fan, please trust me, I say that the Ultraman franchise is very accessible at any stage. Regardless, the story is targeted to a wide range of audiences, most notably children, so they usually keep these simple, and not knowing much about what happened before doesn't take away from the experience. For example, Ultraman Leo, when one of the Ultra Brothers show up, if you understand that an ally or a brother of 7 has arrived to help, that will be enough as they don't usually go much deeper than that. Although the newer series like Jade and Z tend to go deeper parts of the lore, but still in my opinion, they're still easily understandable. To me, that's what's great about the series. Despite how big it has become, you can still pop in at any point of the series and enjoy it. So my first suggestion is that you are free to jump into any series that you feel interested in, just dive straight in. Sometimes seeing a character from before can make you more excited about who they are. I watched Ultraman Dyna before Tiga, and got more interested in Tiga and Guts because of it. Of course, that's coming from my perspective as a long-time fan. Some people just want the best experience coming in. They want to get the best first impressions of the franchise before trudging through the rest of it, and I can understand that very well.
So I've come up with some recommendations. Firstly, we'll start with the Showa era.
It only makes sense to get into the franchise from the series that started it all, 1966's Ultraman. It is still regarded as one of the best shows that aired on television. Follow the Science Special Search Party as they get involved in monster or alien incidents, which reach a climax when Ultraman arrives to save the day. Yes, the series is episodic, there is no overarching story. Reasons to watch this are to get a glimpse of Ultraman at its very core, the variety of well-designed monsters and aliens, and a lot of genuinely good storylines in episodes. In a similar vein, Ultra 7 also fits the bill as a great starting point. Originally, Ultraman and 7 were intended to be separate continuities before it was retconned in Return of Ultraman. Ultra 7 has also often been cited to be better than Ultraman. Ultra 7 has an overall darker tone compared to the original. The lead character Dan Moroboshi is also a better main character in my opinion, and he is the human form of 7 instead of being a host like Shin Hayata. Overall, what separates these two from the other Showa shows is the direction from Eiji Tsuburaya himself. If you are curious to see his work on the special effects and the overall feel of his production, these are your picks. Now, these series are now available for purchase from releases by Mill Creek Entertainment, and they're widely available nowadays.
But what if you're just not feeling these older shows? You just can't watch this Showa era stuff. That's perfectly understandable.
In this case, you can pick a series from the Heisei era. Although Heisei is where things start getting a bit tricky, since this era like to make different universes, you can start anywhere and still feel a new experience, and each of them offers different parts of the package. A suggestion by a large part of the fandom, and the common consensus is to start with Ultraman Tiga. this one makes sense. Tiga itself was the first proper Ultra show in a long time back then, and was a new approach too. Instead of being a story of the gang from the Land of Light, Tiga was an ancient giant that got revived in the modern day to battle threats to the planet. Tiga also stars Guts, a really lovable defense squad with some great characters. Tiga offers some of the best episodes and stories in the series. You can consider the series to be a more modern take to the original, with some changes here and there, like type changes. If you want the basics at its best, but not too old, Tiga is your pick. The character himself even remains the most popular Ultraman in Pulse until this day. However, watching Tiga may be a bit tough, since official releases are very non-existent. If you're lucky enough to find old DVDs of the series, that may be a good legitimate way to watch. But otherwise, we'll just have to wait for a new Blu-ray released by Mill Creek, or if it will stream on Toku HD. But my personal suggestion is to start with Ultraman Mebius. It was an anniversary series celebrating 40 years of the franchise, and as such returned to the Showa timeline. While Mebius brings back a lot of things from the past, it keeps itself newcomer friendly by making these references not intrusive, yet still very much intriguing to viewers. Older kaiju, callbacks to Showa series episodes, and even the Ultra Brothers appear. Newcomers would get interested in the history, while staying fans would love seeing the callbacks. I know I did. Not to mention, Mebius itself is a great series with 10 story arcs and seamless special effects. Watching it though is like Tiga, not the easiest. If you find old DVD releases, you can pick those up, or if you're in a region with Toku HD streaming service, Mebius is available to be streamed. But what if you wanted something even more recent, you just want the latest experiences in tokusatsu? Then that brings us to the new generation era. Similarly to early Heisei, different universes, but some characters and elements like to interconnect, either through cameos or power-ups. However, these series also have the advantage of being considerably shorter length. Normal Ultra series episodes would go for 50 episodes average, while the new generation episodes are usually 20 to 25 episodes long. So, for the first experience from the new generation, I say go with Ultraman X for the best authentic experience. Ultraman X is a vanilla experience, I'd say. In the new generation, it is one of the two series which has an attack theme. The series is fairly episodic with a self-contained story arc, and my favourite relationship between Ultra and Host. The gimmick here is the Mons armor, in which X can equip cyber armors based on monsters or other Ultraman weapons developed by Zeo. Ultraman X was just released by Mill Creek last year, so it's easy to watch. Some other great choices for the new generation era include Ultraman Orb and Ultraman Z. Ultraman Orb, like Mebius, is an anniversary series, and it celebrates that by using fusion power-ups. Many consider it the best of the new generation era, although personally I think its storyline is a bit different from the standard Ultra fare. Ultraman Z is great too, and pretty newcomer friendly, but there's quite a big emphasis on returning characters like Zero and Jeed.
Overall, I'd like to reiterate that each person has different tastes, different things they're looking for.
While I recommend starting with any of the series I mentioned earlier, if you see a series that you're interested in, then go for it. If you're interested in Ultraman Jeed, possibly because you like his unique designs, go ahead. If you want to go with Ultraman Leo because you've heard people say it's really dark, by all means. If you want to watch Ultraman Nice because you're the kind of guy who can only watch commercials, sure. Even if you don't like watching through something, like you're really just not feeling it, feel free to just power through it if you want, but don't be scared to give another series a shot.
I hope I've given you some good starting points on where to begin your Ultraman journey. Remember that the most important thing is to just have fun. After all, what's the point in it if you're not having fun? Speaking of something I'm not having fun right now, it's this map. I have had enough of this!